Hey guys, Britt here. Welcome to End Times Bible Prophecy. Make sure to hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. Well, in the past 2 weeks, we've seen a story play out that really didn't make sense for a lot of reasons, but if the speculation sense proved to be true, well, it makes a whole lot more sense, but not necessarily for the reasons that have officially been given. So what in the world am I talking about? I'm talking about this story right here. This is from Zero Hedge. It says, was Sam Altman's sacking by OpenAI's board over Q-Star breakthrough seen as a threat to humanity? So what are they talking about here? Well, Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI. If you remember, ChatGPT, the very popular AI chatbot that rose to prominence at the beginning of the year, is a breakthrough product in the general public. It's gotten a lot of media attention, and it's led to Google and Facebook and all these other companies releasing their own competitors to ChatGPT. Sam Altman is the visionary leader, one of the founders of OpenAI, and as of a couple of weeks ago, out of the blue, the board of directors said, well, you're dismissed. You're fired. You're no longer the CEO. And they really gave ambiguous reasons as to why that was the case. Around I believe it was 700 of the 770 employees at OpenAI put out a letter calling for the board's resignation. They threatened to leave. One of the other more prominent executives at the company handed in his resignation. So basically you were looking at a collapse of this company with all the talent leaving if Sam Altman, the visionary leader, was dismissed. And during this time we saw him announce he was going to Microsoft. Microsoft was going to put him in charge of their AI programs. And then there was a complete about face, and Sam Altman was reinstated as CEO. Several of those board members that had called for his firing, they have left the board of directors. New members have been brought in, with others yet to be determined. So the question is, why? Why did all of this happen? You have this successful company that is getting all this media attention, has a visionary leader that many people follow. All of a sudden, they're just going to fire that leader, let him go work somewhere else. Doesn't make any sense. Then they turn around and rehire him. So what is this all about? Well, let's read a little bit about what the story says. We're going to talk about what most likely happened. We'll look at what they're saying happened, what most likely happened, and how all of this relates to the world itself and the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. So here's what this article says. It says, the mystery surrounding the brief dismissal of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman last Friday, again, this was a couple of weeks ago, who has since been reinstated, might revolve around a Reuters report that suggests Altman's removal was due to a breakthrough in artificial general intelligence, which could threaten humanity. In the days before Altman was sent off into exile, several staff researchers penned a letter to the board about a significant breakthrough called Q-Star that allowed the AI model to surpass humans in most economically valuable tasks. Reuters sources said the AI milestone was one of the significant factors that led to the board's abrupt firing of Altman last Friday. Another concern was commercializing the advanced AI model without understanding the socioeconomic consequences. Now, guys, this is very suspicious. I would think you would, hopefully you're not buying this. I know I'm not buying this narrative. So here we have this company, OpenAI, whose purpose is to create these AI tools that are going to transform humanity. And it's only now that they're going, well, we didn't expect it to actually happen, right? I'm shocked to find out that AI creation is going on at this AI company. And so now all of a sudden they're concerned that humanity is threatened? Do you really think this board of directors is concerned about threats to humanity? Or that they would commercialize for profit this AI model without first understanding the socioeconomic consequences, right? There was this AI milestone and he didn't communicate this. This was the purpose of the company. So it doesn't make sense at all, the reasons they're given. So, but after the fact, we had some speculations that would make it, in my opinion, make sense. But then the official reasons they give for that, again, don't make sense, but we can put together, we can read between the lines. That's what we're going to do here. This is my speculation for today about what's going on here. So let's look at this next article. It says, threat to humanity, OpenAI staff warn of AI breakthrough. And it says, before OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was ousted, several researchers from the company sent a letter to the board of directors warning about the development of a powerful artificial intelligence that, in their opinion, could pose a threat to humanity, writes Reuters. The letter was noted in a list of numerous complaints to the board of directors leading to Altman's dismissal. Reuters was unable to reach the authors for comments from OpenAI. However, in response to the inquiry, the company informed its employees about the existence of a project called QStar. And again, do you really think that the creation of this AI product at the AI company is the reason that they would do this? So there is a letter that is circulating around. I don't know if this is true or not. This could be a fake letter, who knows, discussing what this QStar did, what this QStar is able to do or believed to be able to do. Again, if the letter is real, if the statements within it are true. Now, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts and down into the weeds with all of what's listed here. However, if you want to do that, I would highly suggest a couple of videos. One, this is by David Shapiro. It's titled OpenAI's QStar is the biggest thing since Word2Vec and possibly much bigger. This will go into a lot more in-depth speculation about the technology of what's happening with the development of this AI and what it's believed happened. I would also recommend this video. This is Chris Martenson from Peak Prosperity, and he has as his guest one of the members of the Peak Prosperity community who is a former CEO at an AI company. So he has knowledge of this industry, and they speculate on what happened, what transpired. I'd recommend both of these videos. I'll put links in the description so you can go check those out. What I find very interesting about this, and we'll get to this in just a little bit, is what Chris Martenson and his guest talk about in terms of possibilities. We'll discuss that more toward the end. I'll get back to that, but let's go back to this letter. And I want to focus on this paragraph in particular here. It says, following an unsupervised learning session. And so again, this is the AI engaged in the learning session. It's expanding its knowledge exponentially, so as a way of putting it. But it was given a data set, it says, of descriptive inferential statistics and cryptanalysis, and it analyzed millions of plain text and ciphertext pairs from various crypto systems. So big picture, let's say it was given a code, right? So you have signals intelligence that are sent all the time. Let's say the Pentagon wants to send an encrypted message to a submarine in the middle of the ocean. And they don't want that encrypted signal to be captured and deciphered by enemy nations. So they encrypt this in a way that is believed can't be broken, that is beyond the ability of any humans or any technologies to be able to break that code, so to speak. So that's sort of what we're talking about here. Again, this is, I'm sure all sorts of people will be picking apart my analysis of this. But let's think of it that way, because that's where all of this is going. And I believe that's what's very important of what's written here. But it says basically it solved that, it broke that code in a way we do not yet fully understand. So in other words, the AI system was never told what the solution to the problem was. And so it engaged in creative problem solving, solved the problem, and did so in a way that the creators don't yet fully understand. So some people would say, oh, this is a threat to humanity. The AI is going to grow so big. No, again, I want to reiterate, the threat to humanity is not from artificial intelligence. The threat to humanity is from human beings wielding AI as a tool and using it against other human beings. It's a tool of government oppression, or it could be used that way. I want you to think about let's say you have a technology that can break all of the encrypted signals, all the encrypted messages that are sent all over the world today, that can break all the encrypted security features at every institution. You think that would be valuable to somebody? I think it definitely would be. What if you have an artificial intelligence that can create new novel ways? I mean, I don't know if that's what they're saying here when they say in a way we do not yet fully understand. Was it a novel solution that human beings had never thought of before? Or are they just saying they don't understand how it got to the correct answer, what progressions it went through to get there? I don't know. They don't give the context to this. But the point is, you're going to see an exponential explosion in technological development if we have systems in place, if we have artificial general intelligence that can operate on par with humans, but you can simply, say for $1,000, you can buy this AI that replaces a human. Well, then, in terms of thinking and problem solving, if you could do that, well, then what could you do with $1 billion or $1 trillion? And what does that mean for the world? And guys, I would think that if we saw a breakthrough like that, if we were to see a private company have this milestone AI breakthrough, like they're claiming, and again, who knows if this is true or made up, but if we were to see that, what would I expect to see? Well, I would expect to see the government come take over that company, right? So if you have a company that's truly a threat to humanity or has the ability to break every code, has these massive military applications applied to the breakthrough that they just created, I would expect that you get a knock on the door and they would say, hello, this company is now property of the United States government. You're all employees of the United States government. That's what I would expect to see happen, or in whatever other nation that it took place in, I would expect that to happen. So could it be, again, this is speculation on my part, could it be that that's exactly what happened? And the thought process was, well, we'll get rid of this visionary leader because he's one that could push back against this. And then in the process, you have 90% of the employees saying, well, we're going to walk out the door. And then you look around and go, well, what are we left with? What are we taking over if the company collapses? So we need to bring him back on so we can keep it all together. so that we can control this. Is that what happened? Well, that's sort of what it looks like to me, because we had these board members who have left and now they're being replaced by other board members. So who are some of these board members here? So here we have this article. It says, who are the new OpenAI board members and what's changed? One of those board members is Britt Taylor. Who's Britt Taylor? Oh, he's a 43-year-old computer programmer, entrepreneur, right? That's it. No, former co-CEO of Salesforce. Also, oh, look at that. He served as chairman of Twitter prior to that, right? So Twitter, which we know was in bed with the United States government, infiltrated to the highest levels by the United States government and used to censor its users until Elon Musk acquired the company, put all of this information out there in the open so that people could see, oh yeah, look at all these former FBI employees that are happen to get jobs at Twitter, right? No, they were current employees who just went to work at Twitter so that they could not directly violate First Amendment freedoms by censoring the public. And so we've seen this sort of public-private partnership, if you want to call it, between Silicon Valley entities like Twitter and the United States government. And so this is what we're seeing with this person coming on the board of directors. So, well, who else? Oh, look, Larry Summers. Who is Larry Summers? He must be another entrepreneurial computer programmer. He must have a huge background in artificial intelligence. Oh, wait, no, he was the former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, president of the National Economic Council under Barack Obama, former president of Harvard, former chief economist at the World Bank. In other words, a politically connected individual at the highest levels, right? In bed with the government, in bed with all of these large global institutions. And so again, what would you expect to see in a sort of a government takeover? Or, well, let's come make sure we've got a closer eye on this company, because this might be the company that gives us the power that we so desire. And guys, if this breakthrough, if it's true that they're talking about a truly revolutionary milestone breakthrough in artificial intelligence, then the military applications for that are enormous. And again, I would go back to this video. Again, I'll put a link in the description. I highly suggest watching this whole video. But Chris Martenson, he's speaking to his guest, who was formerly a president of an AI company. And in that, they're talking about, well, if you've got this AI system, this artificial general intelligence, and you create it and it begins to grow exponentially and learn exponentially, even if you were to create a second project like that, a second AI, even just a week later, it would never be able to catch up and be as powerful as the first AI, simply because while it's growing exponentially, that other one is as well, and it continues. It can never catch up. And so his guest states something we stated before, which is whatever nation or group of nations is the leader in doing that will rule the world. And we've heard that before. Where have we heard that? We heard that from Vladimir Putin. Remember, we've been over this numerous times. Back in 2017, Vladimir Putin was talking to a group of college graduates in Russia, and he said the leader in the field of AI will be ruler of the world. So are we about to see this take place? Are we on the verge of seeing this? We've talked about Project Replicator being pushed by the US military, how they're talking about multiple drones and drone swarms, air, land, and sea. If all of those are controlled by AI, well, you have an insurmountable military force at your disposal. And what will we expect to see in the end times? And we know that we are in the season of the Lord's return. All the different signs we see the nation of Israel back in the land of Israel. We see the Jewish people in control of Jerusalem. We see the gospel being spread all over the earth. We see all these signs that Jesus and the prophets pointed to. And Jesus said, when you see all these things begin to happen, you know I am near. I am right at the door. So what would we expect to see in the end times? Well, we would expect to see this from Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, where it says, this fourth beast is the fourth world power that will rule the earth. It will be different from all the others. It will devour the whole world, trampling and crushing everything in its path. Guys, we have never seen an empire on a truly global scale, one like we see talked about in the book of Revelation. Let's read this. Revelation chapter 13, verse 4 says, they worship the dragon for giving the beast such power. They also worship the beast. Who is as great as the beast? They exclaimed. Who is able to fight against him? This is indistinguishable from what we would hear when a nation or group of nations creates an artificial generalized intelligence that is able to create new breakthroughs in areas of quantum computing, molecular manufacturing, and able to break encrypted codes in order to, enabled to direct swarms of drones. This could create a military that would make the world say, who is able to fight against this? And of course, it would lead to this from Revelation 13, verse 7. It says, and the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them, and he was given authority to rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. As we haven't seen this final world empire yet, but the Bible says that it's coming, a time when one man will rule the entire world. And for generations, people have wondered, how is that even possible? You look at a massive power like the ancient Roman Empire, or even the British Empire of a couple hundred years ago. They had far-reaching power, but they didn't have power on this level. It wasn't over every single person on the face of the planet. And the farther out they conquered, the more the resources got stretched thin. It became unwieldy. It became this bureaucratic mess. We saw the Roman Empire actually split in two for that reason, because it was just got so big it was ungovernable. And that was just in a small area around the Mediterranean, not the entire world. Today, guys, we could see how one person could rule the entire world if that person controlled technology systems like AI. Imagine you have artificial general intelligence that is on par with a human brain and is able to do all of the work that a human being could do, but it never has to sleep, never has a bad day. It's always correct. There aren't any mistakes. And this can be purchased for $1,000 or $100 or $10 or $1 as we see that technology advance. And so a government with the massive resources at its disposal would be able to envelop the entire earth, see everything, hear everything, know everything that's going on. This would seem to fallen humanity very godlike in its existence. It would give that one person this godlike powers. Is this what we're on the verge of seeing? Now, I don't think we'll see this if that's what's going on, because I believe that the rapture of the church will take place before we see this. But if we're near this, then how much closer must that event be? Let's read this as well. This is from Revelation chapter 6, verses 3 through 4. It says, "When the Lamb broke the second seal, I heard the second living being say, 'Come.' Then another horse appeared, a red one. Its rider was given a mighty sword and the authority to take peace from the earth, and there was war and slaughter everywhere." So this is describing a world war during the tribulation. And the one who incites this war, begins this war, has a mighty sword. What might that mighty sword be? The Bible doesn't say. We can speculate. That's all we can do. But maybe the mighty sword is this technology that we've been talking about in this video. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, molecular manufacturing, different swarm drone technologies that would give one nation or group of nations the ability to conquer the entire world and to rule over and govern that world, even down to the most minute details, being able to know who's buying and who's selling and being able to determine whether that transaction can even take place. All of that will be available with this type of technology. And guys, it looks like we're getting closer to that each and every day. And all that tells me is, guys, Jesus is coming back. We know that regardless of whether this is the means the Antichrist uses to rise to power, each and every day it's looking more and more like artificial intelligence will play a significant role in the Antichrist rise to power and his ability to govern the entire globe. But guys, one thing we know without a doubt, and it's something that we can be very hopeful about in the face of all the bad news we see in the headlines every day, is that Jesus is coming back. Guys, he will erase all the evils of this world when he does come back. That will be a glorious day indeed. So I hope that you know Jesus Christ, that you have the hope in your heart that we had, that you had the peace that surpasses all understanding from knowing Jesus Christ. If you don't, I pray that you will invite him into your life today. Jesus died on the cross for our sins so that we could have forgiveness for our sins. He rose again after 3 days. He was resurrected. He is in heaven right now. And guys, he is coming back. And all of this is this is yet another sign of the many other signs we see that tell us the times in which we are living right now. Guys, we are living in the season of the Lord's return. So that's where our eyes should be fixed and our hope should be. When we see things like this taking place, when we see news stories like this, it should just make us very hopeful that we are getting closer and closer to that glorious day. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. I know this is very speculative. Maybe I'm completely wrong about all of this. I know that whether this breakthrough took place at OpenAI or not, such a breakthrough is coming, whether it happens next week, next month, next year, or 10 years from now. It is coming. It's just a matter of time. And when it does, it will give enormous power to the one who wields it. And so we will see when that takes place, when these breakthroughs take place, we will see them used to conquer the world. And so unless Bible prophecy is fulfilled between now and that time, that will fulfill Bible prophecy. It will turn out that these technologies will be the means by which we see the Antichrist rise to power. So what do you think? Leave your comments below. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And God willing, I will see you on Friday. Bye. If you want to learn more about the end times and Bible prophecy, make sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter and get your copy of my free ebook, 7 Signs of the End Times. Just follow the link in the description to get your free book. Also, make sure to check out all of my books. Just look up Britt on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks, Google Books, Kobo, or anywhere books are sold. Thanks for watching today, and until next time, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.